Ritual Madness Podcast, the best of the underground. Make madness your ritual.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy the Hex. I am fucking wanted to check in, I suppose. It's been a few weeks since my last podcast. I think it was Intrinsic was the last one that I did, and I apologize for being absent, but I kind of got busy with life and living a little bit, and I suppose I should give you a bit of an update. I want to give a shout out to Natalie Quirk for helping me out with my photography stuff quite a bit. There's been a few shows that she's been able to score me press passes to do, so I've really been doing some photography, and as of I think it's been, as of last night, I did the Deicide show at the Caboose. Leo Presents, also, I want to thank them as well for hooking me up with some of these shows too. So I've been doing photography and trying to live life and work and do things like that, and still be a part of the scene in some way. I just haven't had the time to really sit down with anybody and do a podcast. I did have 2 podcasts set to go after the Intrinsic one, and I'm gonna get Heavy Zach, who does these heavy motorcycle get-togethers here in the Twin Cities. I believe he was in a club back in the day. I don't know if he still is or not, but Zach is a really cool cat, and I was at his Full Tilt Boogie show a couple weeks back, like a week after I did the Intrinsic show. Also had the band The Source from Colorado reach out to me via the Beast Face guys to try to book something in the Twin Cities. And at that particular time, we just didn't grab any more shows, or we weren't trying to grab more stuff for the Skyway Theater. We are still booking it for the Skyway Theater. We've got a couple different shows coming up, but the band The Source, or Source, they contacted me from Colorado. They're a really cool band, I guess it would be kind of a proggy, I don't know, Chevelle Tool type band. Very cool, man. They're very, very, very talented dudes. I believe their guitar vocalist contacted me to do a podcast, so I had that one set up too, and my daughter had a seizure, so I had to postpone that one. I'm gonna get those guys back on. Zach from the Heavy Clothing line and does the motorcycle things. I had him booked, ready to go, and something came up with the Chicago Domination Fest. I contacted Miguel, who does a couple of these festivals, one in Texas and one in Chicago, and I was going to travel with the Glutton for Punishment guys. Fucking shout out to them cats. They kicked ass last night at the Deicide show, opening for Deicide in Inhuman Conditions. Very, very fucking cool. At this very moment, I'm actually on my way to one of those festivals. I'm going to the Slam Dakota Fest my friend Les Watkins puts on in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I am about 130 miles outside of Minneapolis. But anyway, I had these shows booked. The Chicago Domination Festival came up, and I really wanted to shoot that fest. I had been busting my ass at work and was just drained to beat all hell, and jumped on board with these guys, and I spoke to Miguel, and Miguel hooked me up with a press pass, so I had the full in to go wherever I wanted in this place. There was 20 bands on this fucking thing, brutal bands. The Stabbing was one of them that I just had seen in Minneapolis with Decrepit Birth, and a Pathogen, and they're from Texas, and they're badass. I mean, they have a female bass player and a female vocalist. Drummer and bass player are married, and I believe the vocalist and the guitar player are dating, but they came into town and they were absolutely amazing. So when I talked to guys from Glutton for Punishment and said I wanted to go, I was like, they said yes. I talked to Miguel, he totally hooked me up, and I appreciate it so much. When I got there, I was absolutely exhausted from the travels and working that whole week, and I ended up getting to the show late, which I wanted to basically do what I did at the last Slam Dakota, which I didn't get a chance to document as well as I wanted to. I mean, I got a lot of great pictures of the second day. I got every single band, inside, outside. I photographed every band, and it was fantastic. And I planned on doing that for Chicago Domination Fest. And I was all set up to do that. We got into town a little late, got to the show a little late. I think I missed like 4 or 5 bands before we even got to the show. We did see, it's escaping me now, but I know I seen The Stabbing and the band right before them, which the drummer from The Stabbing played in that band, so it was extra cool for me, and I got to get on stage and take a bunch of photos kind of behind and of the crowd during The Stabbing. And God, I want to say, I don't want to get it wrong. And I'm driving right now, which is, I know everybody is like, what the fuck, you're doing this while you're driving? I am on a stretch of open road for the next 60 miles, so I'm trying to just check in with you folks. Trust me, I'm being as safe as I possibly can. But I had those podcasts set up. I wanted to get to the Chicago Domination Fest. We got into town, and the Glutton guys and we kind of turned it up a little bit and stayed up a little late. Had a situation where, I'm just not used to sleeping outside my own bed for a long time. I hadn't been out of town really since I think the last Slam Dakota Fest, and I was fucking with a bunch of dudes. I shared a bed with what was supposed to be one guy and ended up being 2 guys. Long story, one of those guys ended up being naked, and it was out of fucking hand. But there was vomit involved, and fold-out beds, and desecration of a hotel room, and their fucking breakfast, their continental breakfast, got defiled as well by all of us. That show was really fun. Unfortunately, I didn't get as many bands as I wanted to get. The guys that I came with ended up we got there late. We wanted to leave a little bit. They wanted to leave a little bit early, so I think I got 4 or 5 of the bands, mid-evening to early evening, because it was like, mid-evening till we didn't go too late. We ended up having to take off, and they were my ride, and we had been drinking, so I went back to the hotel. Rough night sleeping. We woke up Saturday with the best intentions to just rock out, and Glutton for Punishment, they fucking were feeling it the next day during the set, so it was a little rough, but we had fun traveling. I was falling asleep midday on the second day of the Chicago Domination Fest, and I was bumming because I really, really wanted to take photos of more bands and more of the shenanigans going around the show. I was so exhausted. I was sitting in a chair up against one of the bars and was falling asleep with my camera in my hand, which I was like, oh my God, if I drop this fucker on the fucking ground, I won't be able to do photography in general. So I was gonna go back to the hotel and take a fucking nap, and I had the intention of going there and coming back, and I want to apologize publicly for anybody who knows Jesse Watson from Incinerate, longtime friend, and I wanted to see those guys because they don't play very often. They've got guys from out of state. They come and jam with Jesse to do these Incinerate shows, and I went back to the hotel wanted to lay down. The vocalist of Glutton for Punishment, the original guy that I was supposed to be sharing the bed with, was there, crashed out too, and I set my alarm for 8:30 or 8 o'clock to try to go back and catch the Incinerate set and document that stuff, because I was really excited to see Jesse's band, but I was so fucking exhausted from everything that I slept from like I think Glutton played around 5. I was back to the hotel by 7. I slept till probably 12. I woke up, realized I missed everything, had something to eat, and went right back to sleep till we left the following morning. I think I got maybe 7-8 bands of the entire bill of maybe 20 or fucking 30 bands. It was bad, man, and I felt horrible because Miguel fucking hooked it up, man, and big shout out to that cat, because I'll tell you what, man, he puts on a fantastic festival. That all the vendors were really cool. They had a lot of merch, and the tables were set up real cool, kind of in the hallways and around the venue a little bit. It gave you a little chance to like stretch your legs, and they had a nice little pub next door to this venue, connected with, they serve burgers and fries and shit, and then really cool decor. The brew house, I think is the name of it in Illinois. I was really surprised at how well, and this is something that I thought was really cool from Miguel too. Miguel put a thank you note on every single seat that was VIP in the whole place, like specifically personalized every one of them to say thank you for being a part of the festival and paying for the extra, going the extra mile with the fucking VIPs and shit. And he was giving away good, it was included like good package with t-shirts and all that other stuff. It was real cool, man. So yeah, busy as shit. I wasn't really planning on going to the Slam Dakota Fest, because I was supposed to go to my club, the NYDM's annual get together. This year it was in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I really, really wanted to go to that. Something came up where my wife went on a trip, and I just didn't want to. I just didn't have the cash right at the time, so what sucks is we were going to get tickets. It was prolonged a little bit more, and the tickets got a little bit more expensive, and I just wasn't able to come up with the cash right at that particular time to go to the festival down in Mexico. But here I'm doing this doing the Slam Dakota instead, which I'm glad, because Les is a sweetheart of a human here. She's good people, so it's always good to support people that do these cool things in the scene, in their scene, and Les has incorporated some of the bands like Semtex, and Glutton's been over there a bunch of times. As a matter of fact, Krog has played over there. This year, Defiled Sacrament is playing there. And I actually had a hand in helping those guys get on this show, so it's pretty cool. And I believe the band Exhibit, I believe that's their name. They're from Minneapolis as well. I've yet to see those guys live in our hometown, so it's kind of cool to come out here and see some Minneapolis bands that I actually haven't seen. And let's be honest, with this whole COVID shit going on, in the last couple of years, it's tough, man. I went to that fucking Deicide show, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. It was just a sweat box in there, and what do you expect in a show? They were like that all the time. I was talking to a friend today about that. It has always been a sweat box all the time when you're at a concert, in the general, just in a pub, in a fucking bar, in a small club. They're going to be sweat boxes anyway, But the Deicide show was fantastic. I ended up having to leave a little bit early because I've been getting into this photography stuff a lot, and I've been trying to to get my camera where I want it, to get to know my camera a little bit more. And when you're doing live shows, and again, shout out to Natalie Quirk for hooking me up with, the Goat Horror show and the Decrepit Burst show, and this Deicide show. These last 3 shows have been fucking awesome, and to be able to be a part of a collective of good promoters and people that are, doing good shit in your scene. I fucking dig it. So if I can add some sort of aspect to it, if I don't have my hands in the booking process, I'd like to give it, the fucking look it deserves at least, or get close to it. So, with that being said, you have to kind of get in the mix with everything, man. And when you buy these cameras, they're not cheap. They're expensive as a motherfucker, and it's like you want to take care of your stuff and insure your stuff and all of that stuff. But that being said, man, it's like, I know in the pit, for me, up from back in the day till now, it's like we have always learned that if someone goes down in the pit, you pick them back up. You help them out. And I would think that would be the same thing with someone, trying to have fun and, do some good photography. And if I saw a person with a big ass camera, I wouldn't try to hit them or knock them down or take cheap shots to their fucking ribs or some shit like that. But last night at the Deicide show, I got a little bit of all of that. And there are a bunch of guys in the pit, since I was younger, I was like a pit monger, dude. I love being in that. There's been so many shows where I told myself I'm not going into the pit, and 2 songs into the fucking band set, I'm knee deep in the fucking pit, and do it for the rest of the night, because it's just the energy, man. And that's what I think we all probably can agree with, being the vibe of being a metalhead, is you just get that extra fucking boost from that heavy music, setting you into that mood where you just want to release some of that shit. Well, I get all that, but I wouldn't want to take no cheap shots on somebody, and it sure seems like people don't feel the same as me, and maybe I'm a little old school, but I had to do it, and apparently the guy knows me. And dude, if we were on good terms at one time, I want to publicly apologize to you, because I threatened your fucking life, and I wanted to beat the living shit out of you because I had $3,000 worth of camera shit in my fucking hand, and the dude took a shot at me, and I got mad and kind of shot him a couple times, and then he hit me 4 times. He hit me twice underneath my ribs, and then when I addressed the dude, he called me by names, and he said I knew him, and I told him I don't fucking care who you are, dude. I want to clobber you. You know what I'm saying? And nothing happened, but I'm an old fuck, and I can't be acting like that. I gotta get the fuck out of there. So I ended up having to leave the show a little early, but I'm glad that I did, because I rode my motorcycle home. I got home, I parked it, I got on the computer and fucked around and talked some shit, and thanked the bands and thanked the people who allowed me to photograph last night at Deicide. It was a first for me, because I've never shot Deicide before, photographed Deicide before. I had opened for them several times with my band Necromus back in the day, but I never had a chance to take pictures of Glenn Benton. And the lighting during Deicide was, what you would expect, because they're a satanic band or whatever. So that, it was real dark, and the lights weren't that great for that particular set. The Cataclysm before them, the lights were kind of, I was getting some good shots. I haven't edited anything or gone through them yet, but I was getting some good shots. Inhuman Condition, I think they brought their own little floor lights that kind of shot some light up at them, some cool blues and greens and purples and shit, and the photos that I could see, which, you know, I mean, I'm an old bastard, so this little screen here, I gotta get real close to see what the fuck that is, but they look good from what I could see. Inhuman Conditions was a band that what's really funny about it is I was able to score to get in to shoot this show, and Inhuman Conditions, I was like, damn, it sounded familiar, and my buddy Nate from Disciples of the Watch podcast, Thursday, today's Friday, so yesterday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, I'm sorry, sent me a message saying, hey man, have you heard of Inhuman Conditions? You should check them out. They're really badass old school shit that I think you would really dig. And I was like, hey, that's funny. They're coming into Minneapolis, and Nate, like I said, just moved from, well, I don't think I said this, but if you watched the podcast with Nate and I, the most recent one, you can go to ritualmadnesspodcast.com and scroll down and watch the video of our Zoom conversation, or I believe you can listen to it on Stitcher or iPodcast, you know what I mean, the Apple one. So Nate said, you got to check them out. They're badass old school. I think you really dig them. And he said, you know me, man, I don't get too excited about newer metal these days. It's just not what he really enjoys. He's old school like me. So he was like, I heard it and I automatically thought, fuck, Greg would probably really like this. So he sent the dude, check this out. So I was really excited to see what they were all about, and they fucking brought it. Vocal wise, the dude's voice seemed like he sounds like me right now. Actually, he was a little hoarse. I don't know if that's his style or what. Like I said, I don't really know that band very well. I know Terry Butler, who played in Obituary, and I know he played in Death because I saw him twice in Death. Massacre, I believe he played in that band as well. So Terry Butler's old school as fuck. And when I found out that Terry Butler was in Inhuman Conditions, I was like, fucking bet. That dude is awesome. I'm totally going to check that shit out. So I was excited to see it. And they did not disappoint. Musically, single guitar player, Terry Butler, fucking solid sound, guitar tone for a single guitar player was really good. And that guitar player, I believe, played with Deicide. Again, I was taking photos and trying not to fucking catch a case in the mosh pit. Yeah, they were killer. And again, like I said, with the Chicago Domination Fest, we partied our asses off, and Glutton didn't have the best show. They'd be the first to admit it, but they came back last night at the Deicide show and fucking ruled, man. They are really something when you got them all firing on all cylinders, because they've got talented dudes in that band that are like from all over, cats that I grew up with, and some newer dudes that I've become fucking pretty damn good friends with pretty damn quick. And I'll tell you what, I've been following Glutton and almost joined that band when their original singer left, Dan. I tried out for that band and probably could have done it. And then Al Town came in and did that. Al Town is well known in town in Minneapolis. Al Town in this town is pretty well known. He's done a lot of stuff. The band Six is pretty notable to me. Release is another one, which was kind of like this new metal rapcore thing that he was doing. And I always admire what he's done for musically. So at the Deicide show, they really were firing on all cylinders, and I traveled with them with the Chicago Dominion Fest, and I got to see them last night, and now I'm headed to Slam Dakota right now, and they play tomorrow night, and I know the majority of those guys will be there today. I think we're all staying in different hotel rooms and stuff. I ended up getting like a small Airbnb, and I'll actually show you guys all the stuff that's going down right now. Like this. Let me see if I can get this recenter. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. There's the flip. All right. So this is the shit I'm driving through right now. Pretty fucking bleak. Just farmland. Look at all those fucking windmills way out there. You can see them. Didn't Donald Trump say that those things gave me cancer or some shit? Bring politics into it. Exactly. All right, there we go. So yeah, I'm on my way to Slam Dakota right now. I'm gonna try to get and incorporate not only the photography that I get, which I'll probably throw some photos in with this video, since I'm pre-recording it and not doing it live like I normally do. I again apologize for not doing podcasts as of late. I do have a few things in the works. I've got to reschedule a couple of things. Just a couple weeks ago, I was lucky enough to score a booth at the Crypticon Festival here in Minneapolis this year. I've gone. My band's played there before. Chaz is the guy who puts the show on. I've been a friend for a few years. We have a bunch of mutual friends. I consider Chaz a friend, a good dude, and he hooked me up with a booth. He suggested me to come and sell my tie-dyes at excuse me for the hoarse voice. Sell my tie-dyes at Crypticon, and I was like, what the hell does tie-dye have to do with horror festivals? And it really doesn't have anything to do with it. But if you follow any of my stuff or follow me on social media, you know that it's something that I really like to do and haven't done a ton, or haven't posted a lot of things that I've done recently. But I have been dyeing still. I do make embroidery patches that, for the battle vests and shit like that. I do a lot of things for the NYDM clubs as far as like name tags and whatnot like that. But when I first got my embroidery machine, I did a ton of like tributes and bootlegs and just like shit that, if somebody wanted a specific band in a specific color, I would make it for them, or their band wanted patches. I've done a ton of patches for bands like Gabriel and Apocalypse, Endless Rain, the Foo Fighters, which is like a Foo Fighters cover band here in the Twin Cities. A few different bands I can't think of off the top of my head, but I kind of let all of that stuff go, getting, with the whole pandemic, man. I mean, and everybody, if you follow what I've done with Lee's Liquor Lounge and things like that, like, setting up shows and shit, it was like there was a big drop right before the before the pandemic, and I just shut down with everything, man. I stopped doing a bunch of shit, and I wasn't, you're not going to shows to sell patches and whatnot. So, and I had never done a large sale or festival of any of my tie-dye stuff. I have the ability to do, tie-dyes and shit that, I have a bunch of materials to do tie-dye and to mass produce a bunch of shit. But I was telling my friend the other day, like, it's awesome when you do something really cool and people like it and they want to buy it, but then it kind of like, you do one of them and other people want them, so then you get stuck doing the same design over and over and over again. So it's like, yes, you perfected it a little bit more and you can kind of hone your skill and shit. And I'm so novice right now. I'm a year and a half into doing the shit, but I took a big break with this too. It's like, like I said, this whole COVID shit, everything, but with the embroidery stuff. So I knew that the tie-dye stuff wasn't right up the horror convention persona, really. So I was like, what could I do? I got a bunch of ideas from Chaz. I got a bunch of ideas from my friend Brad Miller. And it just was like a fucking brainstorm that I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I ended up wanting to spend a ton of money on more material when I had a bunch of material already to make. So I decided against that and realized, hey man, I still have a ton of stuff for patch making and doing things like that. So I was like, fuck, why not see if I can do some cool design patches and sell those too. So I started doing a bunch of patches, horror themed stuff, sayings from horror movies, let me think here. We have Eternity to Know Your Flesh, from Hellraiser. I did that one. I found a really cool Charles Manson head that I like a silhouette head, and took one of the things they painted in blood on the walls during the murders called Death to Pigs. I did that underneath the Manson head for one of the patches. So I got a lot of really cool ideas, and I have a ton of work to do. So the last few weeks I've been meaning to go and do a podcast and kind of check in with you guys and like what's going on, and what have I been up to. What's the scene been going on? Like I said, I've got shows coming up at Lee's Liquor Lounge, or not Lee's Liquor, I'm sorry, the Skyway Theater. We've got one in September, which is September 24th. The Night of the Lotus, which is the band Dreams Aside's release of their CD called The Lotus. And so I called it the Night of the Lotus. So it's the 24th of September. It's Mira Being is headlining the show. Dreams Aside, Beast Face, and Visceral Intent. That is at the Skyway Theater, September 24th. And I don't want to fucking crash this shit because I'm starting to come into a little town. I'm coming into Wyndham. This is the last place that I stayed when I came out to the fucking Slam Dakota Fest. I want to see if this is the hotel. When I came into this little ass town, I was like, God damn, this is like a one horse town. It really is. They've got like a small ass little America Inn. I mean, I stayed in a Shopko. You're getting into sticks when there's a Shopko. For me, that's just kind of, they don't have them in the Twin Cities, so it's always like southern and northern places that they have Shopkos and whatnot. But Wyndham's a small town, and this is where I stayed when I came to the last Slam Dakota. And I found Wyndham just because it's like a halfway point from where I live to Sioux Falls, and it's a sweet little town, dude. I found a little cafe like just outside of Wyndham to have breakfast in. I stayed in this shitty little motel type of thing. Again, man, I do this with every little festival that I go to, except for I'm usually traveling with people. I wish I would have done this last time I came out here. It's always weird because I'm not a vlogger. I do podcasts and shit, and I do record them for you guys to see it live. So it's not like I have, a chance to like have it all scripted or dumb shit like that, But when you're the only guy with a camera, like when I went to Colorado, and you can scroll through my TikTok, or you can scroll through my YouTube, I took little videos the entire time I was in Colorado of just like statues and artwork, and mixed them with some weird ass techno music, just because I don't normally do this shit, but it's weird when you have like this little camera. I've got this little handheld DJI Pocket too, and people don't notice it right away that you're holding a fucking camera in your hand, but when they do, they get really fucking nervous. And it doesn't matter if they're up to anything or not. They just look at you like, why the fuck is this guy recording everything and walking around behind me? Like when we were at the airport and I was recording, there were so many people like turn around like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? I even kind of had security like double take me in it. You know, you feel weird. So I'm usually traveling with people, so it's awkward to pull out a fucking you know, the guys I went with to Colorado, they know that I love doing this shit, and that, you know, I will we got an ambulance coming my way, I think. Oh no, let's go the opposite way. But they know I like doing this shit, so they tolerate it, and they giggle, and they, you know, do silly shit and whatever. But which is fun, but not every time, you know, do people want to have a camera in their face and shit while I'm talking, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird for people to be in front of a camera and not get, you know, not clam up a little bit. But I enjoy doing it, and I wish I would have done it for I mean, I intended to do some with the Old Spring Bash festivals that went on in Milwaukee that Randy Castor put on. There was some documentation, but there was no, like, you know, I even had this camera and still didn't use it. I haven't used this camera since October of last year when I went to Colorado. I think I may have used it 3 times since then, maybe. And I love this little motherfucker, but hey, look, there's a pirate ship. Nice. Just on the top of a field for a high school in Windham, Minnesota. Anyway, oh yeah, here it is, I think. Yeah, this is it. Let me see it. That little place right there. That's where I stayed last time. Red Carpet Inn. That place is a fucking dive, man. But this place over here, this Secret Annie's, see all that shit? That was really fun to fucking photograph all the shit, and I should try to stop back there and get new photos, because they look like they've got a bunch of new stuff over there. But that was fun to find that place across from your hotel room right before you head to the show. I was looking for a place around here, and I think it's right out of town, that has some Native American, like, hieroglyphs, and it's like a little place where there a bunch of stuff etched in stone, and it was interesting to me. I wanted to go check it out. But I stumbled on that place back there, and it's quirky, weird, with all kinds of fucking statues and weird shit. And I would have stopped now, but I'm like pushing it to make it to Slam Dakota. I got a little bit of a late start. I wanted to have breakfast with my wife this morning and give some money to my wife to get some clothes for my daughter for school, because school's starting soon. So I got a little bit of a late start today, or I would have stopped there. Maybe I'll do it on the way back and kind of flip edit it, maybe, if I remember, or if I'm feeling up to it, because these festivals, you have a tendency to let loose, because there's guys you haven't seen in a while, or people you haven't partied with yet, and the guys you haven't seen in a while know these motherfuckers, and then all of a sudden it starts to become a big party, you know? I only did one day last year, and I was exhausted on the way home. One day, with that Chicago Domination Fest. It was 2 days, and I was talking to Les Watson, that Watkins does this Slam Dakota thing, and she was like, 3 days is way too fucking long. 2 days is like the perfect, you know. She goes, 3 days and you're just fucking wiped out for, you know, a long period of time afterwards. You know, you're standing up most of the day. You're getting just bombarded with brutal music all day for 2-3 days. It's tough on a motherfucker, especially an old prick like me. So I was running late. I'll stop. I'll try to stop back there when I'm coming back. But yeah, I'm trying to beat the band. It kind of looks like it's about to storm in this bitch. I know it's supposed to be in the 80s and 90s tomorrow. Today is supposed to be high 80s, but it looks like it's going to storm. There's lots of fucking clouds in the sky, and it just kind of came up right when I hit Windham. So we'll see. I'm headed towards Sioux Falls. I am 39 minutes into this video. So I appreciate you watching. I'm going to fucking I'm going to drive for a little while, and I will check back in a little bit and see, let you know if anything cool happens, or talk more about the show once I get to my Airbnb. Oh, fuck. You know what? I'll just keep going anyway and edit it. Fuck it. So, last year on my way into town, after I did photography at that little hidden nook place with all the fucking statues and shit, I was coming into Sioux Falls and put out a thing on Facebook just saying, hey, if anybody at Slam Dakota wants to get lunch before the show on Saturday, get a hold of me. I'll definitely come meet you for lunch. Well, this guy Rob Ridner, who's a scene guy in Minneapolis, said, hey man, come over to the house where I'm at, we'll go grab some lunch. So he gave me the address, and I drove to this house, and I'm like, in a neighborhood in Sioux Falls. I'm like, where the fuck am I, And I sent him a text saying, hey dude, I'm here, are you gonna come out, or do you want me to come in? He goes, oh, come on in. And I'm like, this house right here, this big blue house? And he goes, yeah, we rented an Airbnb. And I'd always heard about Airbnbs. I never have experienced one. I still haven't yet. But I go into this place. It's a fully furnished house that's just like, the decor was a little older, but it was still a full house for two guys. It was like $120-something a night. And they stayed for 2 nights, and there was 2 guys split. This was $127 a piece. They brought their own food. They cooked in there, cooked there before the show, went there and partied after the show. Like, they had a sweet setup. So this year, I was going to travel with the Glutton guys again, and they ended up all going in separate vehicles and doing their own thing. So I was like, fuck it, I wanted to come anyway. Ended up, like I said, not going to the annual. So I waited till the last minute and hit up Rob and asked him, hey man, what did you guys do with that Airbnb? And he sent me a link to the app. Downloaded the app on my phone, and I started searching around now in Sioux Falls. Now I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm not too far away from the venue, but I found a house, a small house, like a tiny home that someone was renting for $80 a night. So I'm going to pay $161 to stay for 2 nights. I'm going to catch both days of the show this year, and I'm going to try to photograph every single band just to kind of redeem myself for not doing the best job at Chicago Domination Fest. And I'm definitely going to find Miguel tonight or tomorrow night and apologize and thank him for allowing me to come and shoot at his show, and definitely say I'm sorry for fucking not holding up my end of the bargain. And it was like, he was counting on me. He had so many people there documenting. They were streaming it to a place. They had photographers all over the fucking place. But when you have someone who is passionate, and I actually photographed Miguel's band last year. I think he played in 2 bands last year, as a matter of fact, but they were from Chicago. 2 bands from Chicago. I think he did. But anyway, I ended up shooting his band, so he ended up being cool and let me come, and I feel like I let the guy down. So I'm gonna apologize to him anyway, just to be a fucking gentleman about the shit. You gotta be a fucking gentleman, you know what I'm saying? Over here, when you got a fucking hoarse voice. So yeah, that's really it. I'm on my fucking way. I'm 170 miles outside of Minneapolis on West 60. So I'm gonna shut this bitch down and drive for a little bit, and I'll touch base with you savages when I get to my Airbnb, and I'll kind of show you around just to document, because I gotta take fucking documentation of this fucking place anyway to make sure I don't get charged extra for some dumb shit. Plus, we'll do some camera inspection too to make sure that they don't want to see me touching myself in this fucking Airbnb. They don't want to have to bring in the hazmat suit for my jizz lobs all over the place. Sorry, fucking absolutely ridiculous. All right, so I'll check back in. Thanks for sticking around and watching me, and then all that shit again. What is crack-a-lackin', y'all? I am here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I just got to this Airbnb that I've never tried before or anything like that. It's not a bad little spot. It's well, I just looked it up. I'm 15 minutes from the venue, but I'm like straight down one road. And like I am probably 6 houses from the corner, so it's going to be pretty easy to find. So yeah, this is my first time ever doing an Airbnb, which is kind of fun, kind of cool. You get a little passcode to get in the place, and then you come in here. I'll show you what this thing looks like. It's a tiny house, so it's real small, but it's like, I don't know what kind of suburb this is. It's like it looks like it could be like a east side of St. Paul almost, something like that. But it's a cool little spot, man. It's not bad at all. There's like a Taco John's right on the corner, and I fucking got into town. I was like, I'm gonna get something to eat. Blam, there it is. But here, let me show you what this looks like. All right, so you come in the door, right? So here's the door. Little windy windows thing. Come in here. There is the stove and the sink. Nice little cabinets. Nice little decor in here. Nice little chairs, table. You got a little Keurig machine and a microwave, like I said, and the stove and all that. Kind of cool little decor. Sorry about the background noise. The AC kicked on just right before I started this. But I mean, it's got this little, I hate to say it, but like a little, I don't know, it's kind of like a little condo you'd see somewhere. It's pretty sweet. Not bad. A little mirror action. Come in here to the little bedroom area. Right off the living room here. Yeah, I said that decor is really cool. There's some shit that my wife would put together. Little closet. Bed's probably a queen size bed. A little TV right on the thing. Bathroom's right off the bedroom here. Shower and everything. Actually, didn't look at the shower. Yeah, I got dispensers in there and shit. Yeah, it's not a bad, look at them fucking shower heads. Let me turn that thing up here real quick. There. Fancy little shower heads and shit. Big ass ones, actually. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. It's not check out this fucking painting. It's pretty sweet, too. Yeah, it's tiny, dude, and I love it. It's like, sorry about that. So it is a tiny little house, man, and it's just got cool little things to it. This host looks like they leave little snacks for you and shit. I'm sure they probably charge you for eating this shit, but looks like it's got a little. Here, I'll turn this around again. You come down this back here. I'll back up again because I was walking towards it as I was talking to you guys. So there's a sink and all that stuff again, and I just come down this little hallway thing, which is pretty cool. Hopefully I don't fall on my ass because I'm a big monster fucking goon. Yeah, it's got a little garage and shit back there. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I have no idea what's down here. They didn't even show anything down here, but it's probably where they fucking murdered a bunch of people. Just fucking falling into the trap. It looks like a cool little spot, man. You know, the basement's as big as the fucking house. It's not too bad at all. Not too bad for fucking $80 a night, if you ask me. Seems like a pretty okay neighborhood. It's pretty quiet so far. You know, once it gets dark on a Friday night, you never know what's going to happen in a strange new world, this new town. So I'm pretty stoked that it's like 15 minutes away from the venue. That's pretty cool. I made really good time. When I put in the place, it says it's gonna be 4 hours, and by the time I left, I was like, holy shit. This, you know, when you get hustling on the road, and I call this, I call it COVID speed. It seems like during COVID, everybody, sorry about the camera jiggling, I'm trying to get this on a little bit of a tripod so I can set it down and actually chat here. That's not gonna work. Oh, that gonna work? Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, I mean, I started busting ass and I hustled. I got here before 2 o'clock. I left at like close to 10, and I stopped 3 times to use the bathroom, and yeah, fucked around on Facebook, talked to you guys on the way here. I got footage of all that stuff too. A little stroll through all of those fancy fucking windmills and shit. So I'll throw that all together, and again, I'm going to throw some camera angles in here, some photography and whatnot. But hey, like I said previous in the video, I apologize for not being on the podcast thing. I've just had a ton of stuff to do. I just wanted to also kind of tell you that I've got a booth at Crypticon. I did mention that earlier, and so I will have my own booth there. I have a bunch of patches and stuff, some really cool stuff that I've been doing. I've done about 40 tie-dyes since I was told about the booth, and that's a couple weeks ago, and I think I've got about 3 weeks from this point now. It's August 26th, and I've got to the 16th of September, so I've got almost a month, 3 weeks, something like that, to get some more stuff done. So I'm excited. I think I'm going to try a little bit. I've been looking up some stuff on YouTube, and I'm going to try some different tying stuff. I probably, once I get done with Crypticon, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any custom dyes, just because I'll have so much shit going on, and hopefully, I mean, I hope it drums up business and people want to come check it out again, or I can do a couple more festivals. I got a couple ideas to do some shows, but I want to make sure that people are going to buy the stuff that I just made and push on from there. So hopefully I see you at Crypticon September 16th through the 18th. I do have a couple shows. Let me take a look here. I don't have my normal setup. Like, this is a handheld camera that I'm using. I don't know exactly how the sound is going to be, but I wanted to kind of like give you guys an update, know what's up, because I haven't podcasted in a few weeks. Big shout out to Intrinsic. That was the last podcast I did, and let me tell you what, I got turned on to that album that they just released. Well, they didn't just release it, but I got turned on to their last album when they came in to do the podcast. And I'll tell you what, man, it is a solid record. If you get a chance, go check it out, and go back to the podcast, ritualmadnesspodcast.com, the YouTube. I'm doing a bunch of shit on TikTok. I haven't done any live streams on Facebook in a long time either, because I've been fucking banned, and this is another stupid thing. So I got banned as well in this whole time frame. So there was like I got hit for 3 days the first time, and then 7 the next time. my account is, you can see it right there if it's showing you right there. My account is restricted right now over something stupid, and so I won't be able to stream directly to Facebook. But again, you can check out the YouTube. Like I said, after, I'm not doing any podcasts besides this update thing, and maybe some cool videos or whatever I get from Slam Dakota tonight and tomorrow. But I probably won't be doing any podcast until after Crypticon, which is September 18th. I do have one booked on the 23rd with Forge Master, Tracy Sutherland's other band, and they're about to drop an album, I believe that the Thursday before. So we're trying to get him on so we can pump that up a little bit, and hopefully you guys will check it all out, because it's Tracy's a good dude. He's got his Terraform Aesthetics mask making and leather stuff, and I mean, the dude's just a fucking beast. Big shout out to fucking the North Star Bar, man, getting their venue back and actually booking a ton of shows, and a lot of people have gone to that venue. I wish I could do what they do there with all the bands and every single night, but with the Skyway, there's just so many other booking people there trying to do shows between EDM and metal, and I mean all kinds of shit. So it's kind of a crazy thing. I just wanted to remind you, Saturday, September 24th, though, Skyway Theater Studio B, 18 plus. Let me see here, 6 p.m. doors, 7:30 music. Mirror of Being, Dreams Aside, Beastface, and Visceral Reaction. I'm sorry. This is the Night of the Lotus. This is Dreams Aside's official Lotus release CD or release party. This is going to be a really fun show. The last time that I saw these two bands, Mirror of Being and Dreams Aside, they were doing a show at the Lupulin Brewery in Big Lake, I believe, and they sold that place out. So I'm really excited to see if they can draw a bunch of people into Minneapolis and hopefully help the turnout at the Skyway shows that Alex and myself have been doing, because they've been a little lackluster, and I don't know if it's the venue or whatever, but it'd be fun to have you guys come out. So if you're seeing this and you want to check out a really good show, September 24th, it's a Saturday, 6 p.m. doors. What did I say was the ticket price? Oh, it's 10 in advance and 12 at the door. You can get your tickets at skywaytheater.com and look for that show. Again, 10 in advance, 12 at the door. I think that's going to be the standard for what we do for the next little bit. I don't want to. I think it's getting a little out of hand anyway, it's just kind of a crazy little deal. You want to make sure you let people get in for a good price and everybody gets paid and everything like that. Our next show after that is on a Thursday, October 13th. Dun, 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 dun. We got a bunch of black metal stuff. I let me see here. Azagrum, Cultus Profano, Black Devotion, and Feral Light at Studio B, Skyway Theater. Again, that's Thursday, October 13th. Studio B, 18 plus, 6 p.m. doors, 7 p.m. music, $12 in advance, $15 at the door. You can get them again at skywaytheater.com. This is going to be a fun show as well, Thursday night. And if you can make it out for some sick black metals, do that. We have another show coming up in November that I was able to pull off and was asked not to release it for about another week. So the cats that are doing the show are going to be releasing some other stuff, some material. I'm sorry, I'm looking at other things here, trying to make sure that I get you all the information. You can look at all the stuff on my Facebook. You can look at all the stuff on the Ritual Madness Podcast Facebook. You can check in with Ritual Stitches. That is the tie-dye and the embroidery stuff that I'm going to be doing at Crypticon. I'll probably post a bunch of pictures on the Facebook pages. Come visit me on at the CryptoCon September 16th through the 18th. I'll be hanging out there, enjoying the con, and hopefully my wife and daughter both make jewelry. My daughter does these really cool little rings, these wire rings, and they're really sweet. And we found some really cool beads for her to make some horror themed rings and bracelets, and my wife is doing bracelets, so we'll have a bunch of jewelry there as well. I've got another dude doing some metalworking stuff, some little spiders and shit like that. Hopefully he'll be able to give me some stuff. I really want to try to make it happen at this con, so if you have the time and you're coming down to CryptoCon, come and say hi, say what's up. Again, this is just kind of me saying what's up, doing this Airbnb shit, because I've never done it before. And it seems pretty cool so far. Like I said, I don't really know the area very well. It's 15 minutes from the club where I'm going to the show tonight and tomorrow. So I'm kind of happy about that. If I wanted to, I think I could probably Uber over there and leave my car here and just not worry about, drinking and driving or whatever. And I might just do that. I don't know. I don't really plan on drinking because I want to... really get all the stuff, all the pictures and videos and things that I wanted to shoot or want to shoot. And I know I'll be editing these at some point. I don't know if it's going to be tonight, tomorrow. I'll have a few hours before the show tomorrow, so we'll see what's up. I will see you guys sometime soon. If not, right around September 20th or something, 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. Again, thanks for being patient. Thanks for... always watching and supporting. RitualMadnessPodcast.com. You can go to, we got 269 or episodes, I believe it is right now. It's been a while. Like I said, it's been a few weeks since I've done one. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Y'all are the best. I will, I'll do some updates and kind of chit chat. Maybe give a rundown after the first night and maybe tell you of some shenanigans that happened or anything cool. Or I will try to get some videos through here. I'm going to charge this thing before I go to the show. I have another backup, so I have enough camera, I think. But I'm going to charge this one before I go. So thank you. I'm out. Peace. There's shots of the Slammy D. A little bit of art. Awesome art. Fucking A. Cool prints. Fucking paintings. Fucking lay out a big spar here. Jason's always got cool shit. Elbow deep dudes.
Check.
Well, holy fucking A, man. It is Monday morning after Slam Dakota Festival here. I am sitting in my car just before work. It is 6:48 a.m. I am, like I said, getting ready to go to work. 2 days out from Slam Dakota. 3 days out from getting smashed with some of these crazy fuckers from Slam Dakota. I kind of did a review on how the first night went. The first night was absolutely fucking amazing. We had a goddamn blast. Second night, I was rough. After getting kind of booted out of my, making a fucking mistake and ended up having to leave my Airbnb. I didn't have a place to stay the second night. So I was kind of in a panic. I had, the crazy Irishman, Irish Cannon, offer me a place to stay with him and his lady, but, I didn't want to inconvenience them. I had a couple, the guys from the band, Exquisite. Yeah, Exquisite. The guys from that band offered me a place to stay as well. I think Ross and Nate offered me a place about about 4 different people offered me a place to crash that second night. I made it almost, well, just a little past halfway through the second night. Got a lot of good photos. I just couldn't do it, man. It was so fucking hot, and just I had food and started to get tired, and I'm like, man, if I gotta get home, I gotta get home like right now. So I ended up leaving at like 7:30, 7:45 or something. Made it back home about 11 p.m. on Saturday evening. Woke up and started doing my fucking my thing for the Crypticon, because I am going to be at the Crypticon doing some I've got a bunch of t-shirts, some bunch of tie-dyes. I know, what are you thinking? What do tie-dyes have to do with horror movies? Absolutely nothing, but I do have a bunch of patches, horror movie themed patches, and serial killer patches and shit like that. So I'm going to have a bunch of shit, a bunch of tables. My wife and kids are both going to have jewelry for sale there as well. So I got back in town Saturday evening. I fucking grabbed my sleep machine, ran up to my bedroom. I talked to my daughter for maybe a half hour, and I fucking crashed like a fucking baby. Woke up, had breakfast with my wife, did some errands, and I started tie-dyeing right away. Well, at least tying my tie-dyes. I got like 7 tie-dyes tied yesterday, and I think I did 3 or 4 of those yesterday afternoon. I was trying this new style that I ran into while I was at Slam Dakota. I just kind of like was looking for some tutorial shit like right before I left the first night, and found a really cool tutorial. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna check this out. Checked it out, and it was something that I hadn't tried before and really wanted to try, so I said fuck it. So I got some tie-dyes started, few done yesterday, and realized I have to order a bunch of dye before this whole thing goes down. I got about 3 weeks to get everything done and be ready for this thing, and I don't think I'm gonna have enough stuff. But big shout out to Chaz DeMoss, who fucking or Chaz, who helped me out with the Crypticon thing. I am just so tired right now from this weekend. It was such a good time. I do want to give a big shout out to Les Watkins for fucking kicking ass. What a great show. What a smooth running show. I think the first night she was behind maybe a half hour, if that, and it still ran really, really smooth. Once they got the kinks ran out, or taken care of, the outside sound system and the lighting and everything, on Monday, on that first day, it really did fucking run smoothly. And the second day it was doing the same thing, back to back bands. They were like one after another, just rapid fire. Met a couple really cool fucking people. I met a really cool a chick named Emmy. She said her name was M. She gave me her card. She's another photographer who had just started doing some live shooting. So it was like her well, not her first, but very close to her first live band footage, and she was getting in the right spots, man. I was run down. I promised myself I wasn't going to do this last weekend and just get totally obliterated and fucking and waste my time of not getting all the photos that I wanted to. And I ended up missing like 4 or 5 bands at the end of the day on the second day, because I was so fucking tired, and I lost my place to stay, and I didn't want to inconvenience anyone, so I took off. But big shout out to Les, big shout out to Gorgatron and Glutton for Punishment, Exquisite, fucking that Troglodyte band was fucking fun as shit. God, there was a bunch. Crusadus was awesome. Elbow Deep was awesome. Goddamn, Rottenness was killer. yeah, so the festival was fantastic. Les did a great job. The staff at Big's Bar was fantastic too, man. They really took care of you. Whether you needed a beer or a water, man, they really took care of you. I really love that fucking venue. It's a big, nice club. Awesome that they can do the shit indoors and outdoor. Show was ran great. If you get a chance to go next year, that would be her 6th annual Slam Dakota Fest. It's a blast, and everybody there is super cool. I mean, I didn't meet a person that I wanted to fucking clobber the whole time, and they're all good folks, man. Everybody was really, really cool. Fucking fun. I got to see some people that I haven't seen in a really long time, from Omaha. My boy Chad, Goat Lord, fucking great to see him. Great to hang out with Ross and Nate and Kellerman and Cindy and all these fucking fun people. The Carlsons, Mike Kern and all the guys. Jesse from Incinerate. Thanks for introducing me to the vocalist of Elbow Deep. Super nice guy. I had a fucking blast, and I'm still recovering. It's Monday. I'm 4 minutes from starting my work day, but I just wanted to finish this last video because I said I was gonna, and I said I was gonna do it yesterday, but fucking A, man. I'm sorry again that I haven't been able to post any podcasts, but I do have some coming up, so stay tuned. I got a ton of photos that I'm gonna drop from this whole summer, basically. I haven't done a podcast in almost a month and a half, so I got some work to do, and I got some fucking healing up to do because my throat is tore up from this past weekend. But thanks for staying tuned with me. You can always find me at ritualmadnesspodcast.com, Ritual Madness Podcast on Facebook, Shutter Ritual on Facebook, Ritual Stitches on Facebook for all my tie-dyes and patch stuff. RitualMadnessPodcast.com has all the episodes of all the stuff I got going on, and I'll be dropping a bunch of photographs from the summer too, coming soon. So thank you for watching. If you're watching this, appreciate you. I'm sure I'll see you around. Have a good one.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast.